He was 74 years old when it happened. Alone in his bedroom at dawn, he followed the same quiet routine he'd practiced for decades. No one was around, and the house was still. He didn't think twice, just a quick moment to start the day. But halfway through, his heart slammed against his ribs. His breath caught, and darkness crept at the edges of his vision. He tried to steady himself, but his knees buckled. One more second, one more breath, and then nothing. When the paramedics found him, his face was pressed against the carpet, eyes closed, pulse barely there. It wasn't the act itself that nearly killed him, it was the timing, the rush, the lack of awareness. In that instant, a routine he'd trusted became a hidden trap. What would you do if your morning ritual turned dangerous without warning? What if something you believed was harmless could endanger your heart, your circulation, even your life? If you're watching this, you're not alone. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why mornings can be so risky and how to reclaim both your health and your pleasure. I'm Dr. James, a board-certified urologist who's spent over 30 years helping men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond navigate the complex world of aging and sexual health. I've seen hundreds of cases just like the one you heard, a routine moment turning into a medical emergency. I've worked in top clinics across the country, published research on men's cardiovascular and circulatory risks, and counseled thousands of patients on how to stay both safe and satisfied as they age. You're about to learn 4 hidden mistakes that most older men make without even realizing it. Mistakes that quietly strain your heart, choke off circulation, and rewire your brain. These aren't scare tactics. These are patterns I've observed firsthand over decades of treating real people. Stick with me, and you'll gain the knowledge you need to protect yourself from those unseen dangers. Today, I'm going to reveal the 4 silent dangers of morning self-pleasure that most men over 60 never hear about, and why those mistakes could be harming your heart nerves and hormones without you even knowing. I'll break down each specific error, show you the real consequences, and give you simple adjustments to keep your body strong. And stay with me, because at the end, I'll share the single best time of day to engage in self-pleasure when your circulation hormones and mind are all primed for safety and enjoyment. If you want to take control of your health and pleasure, make sure you're subscribed and ready. Type "I'm here" in the comments so I know you're on this journey with me, and let's get started. Mistake number 1, rushing on an empty, dehydrated body. Most mornings start the same way you wake up. You stretch your arms, maybe you check your phone, and then before you've even had a sip of water or a bite to eat, you move into your familiar routine of self-pleasure. You assume your body can handle it because you've done it 1,000 times before. But here's the truth. After age 60, your physiology has changed in ways you might not realize. Overnight, your body loses water. You go 8 or more hours without nourishment and your blood sugar drops. Your heart settles into a lower rhythm, your blood vessels constrict, and your brain switches into a lighter sleep-wake mode. In that moment, your system is fragile like a car's engine first thing on a freezing morning. When you rush into arousal without preparation, you're asking your heart to pump harder, your vessels to open wider, and your pressure to rise all at once. Imagine flooring the gas pedal in a car that's low on oil on a cold morning. The engine strains, parts grind, and something can break. Your cardiovascular system works the same way. You start stroking. Your heart rate spikes. Blood that should nourish your brain and vital organs is suddenly drawn into your pelvis. Your vessels constrict, nerves fire, and your heart scrambles to keep up. One minute you're enjoying a moment of relief, the next you're dizzy, weak, or worse, a silent warning stroke, a transient ischemic attack, or a full cardiac event. I treated a man last year, Mr. Nguyen, age 68, who thought he was having a panic attack. He texted his daughter, stumbled to the bathroom, and collapsed. By the time the paramedics arrived, his blood pressure was through the roof. It wasn't fear that overtook him. It was a body under sudden, unprepared stress. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up to a simple fact: your body needs a moment of preparation. Before you place any stress on your heart and vessels, honor the machine that carries you through life. Start with a glass of water, 8 to 12 ounces, to rehydrate dry vessels. Do a quick 2-minute stretch or walk around your room to get circulation moving. Have a small snack, a piece of fruit, or a slice of toast for a gentle boost of energy. These few seconds of care can mean the difference between a safe, satisfying experience and a moment that could cost you your health. Remember, pleasure should never come at the price of your well-being. Mistake number 2. Using porn as a morning stimulus. Every morning, many men over 60 wake up and reach for their phones before they even swing their legs out of bed. They scroll through news, or so they think, until something sparks interest, a video preview, an image, a clip that promises quick arousal. Without even realizing it, they feed their brains a high-intensity dopamine hit before the sun is fully up. Here's why that's a problem. As you age, your dopamine reward pathways become more sensitive yet less adaptable. In youth, a surge of dopamine from a novel experience can be exhilarating, and the brain recovers quickly. But after 60 repeated surges from anything that lights up your pleasure center, teach your brain to chase ever stronger stimuli. That means what once felt thrilling now feels flat, and real-life intimacy can't compete. Imagine your brain as a stereo system. Morning porn is like blasting bass at full volume. It feels powerful at first, but over time, the speakers wear out, the music loses clarity, and nothing else sounds good anymore. You may still experience physical arousal, but your mind is searching for the next louder, faster, more novel clip at the expense of genuine connection. Mr. Johnson, a 72-year-old retired teacher, came to me complaining that after a decade of daily morning videos, he'd lost interest in his wife's gentle touch. He still loved her, but his brain had been trained to chase novelty over nuance. His arousal threshold was so high that real intimacy felt slow, boring, even uncomfortable. The consequence: a cycle of dissatisfaction. He scrolled for longer, sought more extreme content, and felt guilty afterward, feeding into the fourth mistake we'll discuss later. His confidence plummeted, relationships strained, and he wondered if he'd ever feel closeness again. But the core issue wasn't lack of desire. It was rewiring. First thing in the morning, when your brain is primed for reward after hours of rest, is the worst time to introduce an artificial dopamine spike. Instead, give your mind a gentler wake-up, a few minutes of deep breathing, soft music, or even just the natural light streaming through your window. By reserving high-intensity stimuli for after your body and mind have fully woken, and ideally for occasional enjoyment, rather than daily, the brain's reward center repairs itself. You'll find that simple touch, shared laughter, and genuine connection reignite real pleasure. So if you've been starting your day with a screen firestorm, know that it's not your fault, but it is a habit you can change. Your brain and your partner will thank you. Mistake number 3. Poor posture that strangles circulation. Most men never think about how they position themselves during self-pleasure. Yet that posture can be silently cutting off the very blood flow and nerve signals that create sensation. Picture this. You sit on the edge of the bed, lean forward, thighs pressed together, spine hunched. It feels convenient, no extra pillows, no fuss. But it's exactly the position that starves your pelvis of oxygen-rich blood and irritates crucial nerves. Inside your pelvis run the pudendal nerves and internal iliac arteries responsible for transporting blood and sensation to your sexual organs and even your bladder. When you slouch or tighten your legs, you squeeze these structures against bone and muscle. In a younger body, brief compression might not be noticeable, the tissues rebound quickly. But after 60, recovery slows. That pinch and release becomes pinch and pinched again, day after day. I remember Mr. Tran, a proud 74-year-old who lived alone and valued efficiency. Every morning before breakfast, he'd sit at the bed's edge, lean forward, close his eyes, and finish in record time. He told me he didn't feel much afterward, just a dull numbness that lingered. Over weeks, that numbness grew into tingling, then outright loss of sensation during both masturbation and intimacy with his partner. When we examined him, the culprit was clear chronic nerve compression. He'd formed a habit that, without his knowledge, was turning pleasure into damage. We changed one thing. Instead of sitting, he lay flat on his back, a firm pillow under his hips, legs slightly apart. His spine remained neutral, his abdomen relaxed, and each movement was gentle, guided by breath rather than speed. Within days, he reported a marked difference. Warmth returned, sensitivity increased, and even the simplest touch felt more alive. By week 2, he described a deeper, more satisfying climax, something he hadn't experienced in years. Your body deserves that openness. Next time, lie back on a firm surface bed or floor, slide a pillow under your lower back to tilt the pelvis upward, and keep your feet planted hip-width apart. Let gravity help the blood settle naturally instead of wrestling your vessels into submission. Breathe deeply into your belly, allowing your diaphragm to rise and fall. With each inhale, imagine nourishing blood flowing in. With each exhale, release tension from your pelvic floor. This slight adjustment isn't just about comfort, it's about respect for the delicate network of blood vessels and nerves that power your pleasure. Stop forcing sensation through constriction. Instead, invite it with space and softness. Your body will reward you with more intense, lasting arousal and freedom from the creeping numbness that so many men chalk up to just aging. Mistake number 4: guilt, shame, and cortisol spikes. Most men think the only risks of self-pleasure are physical, but the emotional fallout can be even more damaging. For many older men, that fleeting moment of relief is immediately followed by a heavier weight guilt. Maybe they were raised to see self-pleasure as sinful, or they grew up in an era that whispered shame around sex. Maybe it's the quiet loneliness of waking up alone, searching for comfort, then feeling hollow afterward. What they don't realize is that guilt isn't just a feeling. It's a biological trigger. That instant of self-judgment sends your cortisol soaring. Morning cortisol levels are already peaking as part of your body's natural rhythm. Layer shame on top, and you supercharge a stress response that plunges your testosterone, spikes your blood pressure, and clouds your mind. I treated Mr. Lee, age 69, who came in complaining of fatigue, low libido, and foggy thinking. He couldn't connect the dots until we talked about his morning routine. Every time he climaxed, a voice inside screamed, "You shouldn't have done that!" His pulse raced. His chest tightened, and for the rest of the day he felt drained and anxious, trapped in a cycle of stress and regret. That chronic cortisol surge doesn't just kill the mood, it undermines your immune system, suppresses your hormones, and even interferes with memory formation. Over months, this emotional strain can lead to persistent fatigue, low-grade depression, and worsening erectile challenges. This mistake operates in silence, no one talks about it, but its impact runs deep. Recognizing that emotional response is the first step. When you catch yourself slipping into guilt or self-reproach, you're seeing the very moment your body switches into fight or flight. And once that switch flips, it takes hours for cortisol to settle back down, leaving you hormonally imbalanced and deprived of genuine relaxation. Understanding the link between emotion and biology changes everything. It shows that self-pleasure isn't just a physical act. It's a conversation with your whole body, heart, brain, hormones, and all. Your secret weapon for circulation and vitality. While correcting these 4 mistakes lays the groundwork for safer, more satisfying self-pleasure. There's one natural ally that many of my patients credit with, accelerating their recovery: nitric boost. Your body's ability to deliver blood and oxygen to your pelvic organs hinges on a molecule called nitric oxide. It relaxes the walls of your blood vessels, improving circulation and enhancing nerve signaling. As you age, natural nitric oxide production declines, making it harder to maintain firm erections and robust sensitivity. Nitric Boost is a doctor-formulated supplement containing key ingredients like L-citrulline beetroot extract and vitamin C, all clinically shown to support nitric oxide production. In a 4-week study, men over 60 who took these nutrients saw up to a 25% improvement in blood flow measures and reported stronger, longer-lasting arousal. One patient, Mr. Ho 71 combined the hydration and posture adjustments we discussed earlier with a daily nitric boost capsule after breakfast. Within 2 weeks, he noticed mornings felt less off his heart, stayed calm, sensations returned, and even his partner remarked on his renewed vitality. To integrate it, naturally take 1 nitric boost capsule about 30 minutes after your morning snack, never on an empty stomach. It complements the snack and stretch habit from mistake number 1 and enhances circulation during the optimal window we'll discuss next. Incorporating nitric boost isn't a magic fix, it's a support system. When your vessels and nerves are primed, the simple habit changes you've made become even more effective, turning safer self-pleasure into genuine reconditioning for your sexual health. You've taken important steps to transform a routine act into a powerful moment of self-care. You learned why rushing on an empty, dehydrated body can strain your heart. You saw how morning porn rewires your brain and dulls real intimacy. You discovered that posture matters, that comfort and openness protect your nerves and vessels. You confronted the hidden cost of guilt and shame and honored the link between emotion and biology. You added nitric boost to support healthy circulation and nerve function. You uncovered the ideal window 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. when your body's rhythms align for healing pleasure. Small changes in habits, mindset, and timing can add up to a major shift in how you experience pleasure, health, and confidence as you age. You're not broken or past your prime, you just need the right knowledge to guide you. If this journey resonated with you, share it with a friend who might benefit. Subscribe for more evidence-based age-smart health advice. And let me know in the comments I'm still learning to join our community of men over 60, reclaiming their vitality, one mindful moment at a time. Your health and pleasure deserve respect. Now go forth, apply what you've learned, and feel the difference for yourself.